let me just say hi, MB. Hey, thank you for that. Giovanni, love the name. Rafiq, how are you? I think I saw a comment from you on my YouTube channel earlier today. Brandon, Sam, Sherry, Bash, where I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Mom, looking forward to dinner on Tuesday. Great to see you guys. Yeah, please, get everybody who's on the other link over to this one, and we'll give them a second. We're gonna do a Q&A today. I got a couple of announcements. I got a lot of stuff going on. I also want to thank the 100 or so people who popped in on Sunday when I was doing some testing. You think this stuff would work, right? So, all right. So, Kara, Stacy, let me know when you're with me and when I can get rolling. I think everything looks good. Let me see if you let me know where you're from. Let me know what you need. Let me know what you do. Put some question marks in front of your question, so I can find it easy. And if you are in the Mile Walk Academy, please use your hashtag so I know who you are, can give you a shout out, and know what assets that you have available to you. All right. So I'm gonna look. Giovanni, hey, it looks like a question, but it isn't. I can only see the chat that is on this link, so I can't see the other chat. Have them hop over, and we'll do our best. I'm gonna take as many questions as I possibly can. Just have them move their questions. I should be able to pop the questions up on the screen today. So great, Christine, great. Latanya, Gary, great to have you, my boot camper. Sam, always nice to be there. Oh yeah, I'm breathing. You should have seen me a couple hours ago. All right, great to have you. Yes, people can transfer their questions into this new chat. Tell all of them to breathe. I can only see. I'm just making sure that the chat I'm actually seeing is the chat that is going to allow me to put the. Oh goodness. No, I want to just take. I want to take the questions so I can keep them in order here. Irina, my boot camper, how are you? Hey, Stacy. All right, so you found it. Oh, Robert, great to have you. Let's see. I'm looking for here. I think our house got a question. Let's put this one up. Okay, hold on. Sorry, having some computer trouble here. Okay, how about ageism and how to counteract at resume stage? So, simple. I probably would do two things on the resume. I would first probably, if you're familiar with my resume template, I would actually make sure that in the career profile, where I recommend that you put a number of years of experience, maybe don't put all of them. So maybe say 20 plus or more than 20, something like that. I would also drop the year off your degree if you have one of those. And I would just be careful about putting that stuff on there. Hey, let me see if I can mute the little chiming in. Okay. Now, if you are talking about ageism in the interviewing process or just in job searching in general, I've got at least two videos out there on ageism. One is job searching advice for over 50-year-olds. I would check that out. And I would also check out how to overcome age discrimination in a job interview. I have that one as well. Those are great ones. So that's just a fantastic question. Thank you for that. All right. Let me see. Greg, I think this is a question. Here we go. Should your LinkedIn headline be a listing of the titles you're looking for or represent you, or a statement of who you are in a sentence form? Whatever you want. The headline itself is whatever's going to put you in the best light. You could put a sentence form and sprinkle in some of the keywords if you want. The search itself and what's going to come up when people are searching on LinkedIn it isn't going to matter whether they're titles or whether they're a sentence. It's going to be the keywords that are in there, whichever one you prefer. And as a matter of fact, on Tuesday, this coming up Tuesday in 4 or 5 days, I have a video about whether your LinkedIn profile should match your resume. And so it's about a 4 or 5 minute video, and I've got a number of tips there on what I would do in LinkedIn, how I would set that up. I talk about keywords and things of that nature. So this is timely. Thanks for that one. All right. Sandra, how are ya? All right, here we go. Sandra, I received an offer on Wednesday morning and we agreed on a follow-up call tomorrow. Awesome. So that's yesterday's Wednesday, today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. Now I'm expecting a second offer soon from another company. Is it bad form to ask for more time and counter? So here's what I would do. There's nothing wrong with asking for more time, and there's nothing wrong with counter offering. And in fact, I would recommend both. But how you ask for that and how and when you counter is what is good form or bad form. So the first thing that I want to tell you, anybody that is interviewing at all of any kind with any company should watch my video on how to handle your interviewing process with multiple candidates. Kara, maybe we can toss that in the chat. That video on multiple candidates. The reason that I mention this is because there are certain things that you want to do in the interviewing process from the very beginning. That is getting information from the company as to whether they have multiple candidates, whether they have internal candidates, all that other good stuff. But what you're going to do in return is you are going to share what you have going on. And you're gonna set the table up front in the screen or whenever a second interviewing process surfaces. So you're gonna start, and some company is gonna be your first company that you're interviewing with. You may be underway. You may then have a second, before you even have your first phone screen, another opportunity might pop up. If you go to the first interview, you wanna tell them, hey, I have multiple interviewing streams going on right now. If you go in and it's the first, you just tell them, hey, you're the only one I'm interviewing with, but if another thing pops up, I will let you know. Why am I telling you this? Because what happens is you're going to get to this stage. Now you've gone through an interviewing process. Some other things have popped up. Maybe they've stayed. Maybe they've come up and they've fallen off. Regardless, you're getting to a point where you know you're going to get a second offer. If you've set the table and you've been communicating with this company that gave you the first offer, they're gonna understand, oh, okay, that was a possibility. We knew that. She told us that. But if you didn't tell them that and you come out of nowhere and now you get an offer, you're supposed to talk on Friday and now you're gonna say, well, look, I've got another offer that's coming on Monday or next week. And we're like, well, I didn't even know you were interviewing with anybody. It gets a little sticky. And while it's not the worst thing in the world, in my book, it is bad form. All right, so hopefully you've shared that with them and you've managed their expectations that this was a possibility. And I think you can see, if you've done that, how much easier it will be to request a little more time. Say, okay, listen, I'm thank you for the offer. I want to talk it through. I want you to ask them if there's any wiggle room and that you will get back to them, but that you need a little bit of time to finish out the process with the other organization who is going to give you an offer. You'd like to come back to this company and you do not put a counteroffer in front of them until you get that other offer. Why? Because that offer may be super, super high and you want to take the first one and you don't need the first one to match the second one, but you need them to come up a bit. You've got leverage. You'll at least know what cards you're holding. If you counter before you get that second offer, think about it, right? You've got less information. So the answer to what I would do there. So I wanted you to have that context. So what I would do on Friday is I would say, okay, this is great. I'm excited. I really would like a little bit of time, and hopefully you know if it's a week or two or however long you need to finish out with this other organization, get their offer, and then come back to you with with my acceptance or my proposal or whatever. But you got to do it that way, and you better hope that that time frame is tight and it's not multiple weeks, because if it is multiple weeks, companies are going to get impatient. So it's not bad form. You can ask for more time. I would not counteroffer until you had more information from the other company. All right, hope that helps you, and thank you for that one. All right, so I hope that everybody made it over. I don't know exactly what's going on, because I lost the control room, because I can't see it for whatever reason. The stream didn't go to the control room, so I have absolutely no visibility to what's going on like I normally would. So all I can see is what you can see. So Kara and Stacy, hopefully you can share with me a little bit more about what's going on there. Let me see if I can go on to another question, and then I want to make some make some announcements. It's not multiple offers, Kara. It's multiple candidates in the job interviewing process. What to do if there are multiple candidates in the process. It's something like that. All right. Hey, Daniel, Michael, the underdog. I think I got our how. Let me see. Rob, how are you? I hope so too. Hey, I see some folks clicking the thumbs up button. Give me a thumbs up, man, for holding it together today. Okay. Salim. What is an interview for fit? This is a second round of interviews. So what they likely are referring to is cultural fit. So do you have the personality traits, and are they that are in alignment with the culture or the personality of the organization? So what I would look for is check out, there are lots of articles. There's articles on my blog about cultural fit. And culture itself is not a characteristic or a criteria. It's the adjectives that define the culture. Is it open? Is it welcoming? Is it fast-paced? Is it a meritocracy? Are you a go-getter? Is everybody required to take initiative? Whatever it may be. And I have articles on my blog that outline the 20 most common traits that organizations love in people, or that are used to describe the behaviors of the organization. Check those out. I think you will do fine. Beth Greger, how are you? Hey, John, my boot camper, you made I made it. I was here early. All right. How do you answer the question, what challenges do you see for yourself in the job? What are they looking for? Okay, this is a good one. Actually, before I get hang on one second. All right, when you get a question like this, so Parker's asking, how do you answer interview question, what challenges do you see for yourself in the job? What are they looking for? Tips to answer it. Thank you. So when you, this to me, so okay, stretch your ears here, folks. You know that question, what's your greatest weakness? Okay, that question sucks. It's stupid, and any employer who asks it doesn't know how to interview. But any interviewer who asks you this question, what challenges do you see for yourself in the job? They know what they're doing. Okay, this is an absolute beauty, because what this is basically saying or asking you is, where do you think you're going to struggle? And now they're really getting at, it's a great technique for them. It really is, because now you're going to start talking about the areas that you're concerned. And even if you have some experience in that area, it's going to start setting their antennas up. So what you want to do here is you want to answer in a way, well, so first off, they're looking for the exposure areas, right? Where do you think you're weak? That's what they're looking for. They've just asked you a better question than what's your greatest weakness, right? That's way over in right field, and they want you in left field. They went right to where they want you to be. So what you need to do, first thing is I would go watch my greatest weakness video and look at how I suggest answering that. What you want to make sure that you're doing is you're talking about something that is unknown to you about the role. It's a fair response. So what do I mean by this? Well, if you talk about the challenges related to something specific that you can see in the job description, it's going to look like you don't have the experience. But if you point to something that is beyond the scope, like I'm not really sure, I would guess one of my biggest challenges would be making sure that we're setting up the right protocols to deal with the outside, to deal with the vendors, to deal with the customers, to deal with the whatever. And I'd want to make sure that all that stuff is in place. So I think the first biggest challenge that I would have is making sure that all that stuff is in order when I get there. Right? This is something that they should have already. And what you're saying is, I don't know how solidly set up you are. Pick anything that's related to them, where the onus is on them and not on you. If you say, well, oh, this is an engineering position and I'm a little concerned about, how I'm going to be able to come up with the tactics and techniques to do this, that's going to be a problem. But if you talk about how this integrates with other areas in the organization that are unknown to you, I think that's better. That's one of my biggest challenges, will be to get up to speed on all that good stuff. So something like that, something that's outside the scope of what's on that piece of paper, that's what I would do, so that they can't really hold it against you. Because you don't want them ultimately here, you just don't want them to hold anything against you. And if you can escape, and I mean that word, I mean escape that question unscathed, you did well, okay? Usually you're not going to gain a tremendous amount of points with a question like this, but you can lose it. So the goal here is to just get by it. Okay, so I hope that helps. Fantastic question, and I want to make one or two announcements here, and because Parker's question is a great one, and it got me thinking. Many of you don't know this yet. We haven't mentioned it yet, and I'm mentioning it now for the first time. My job search boot campers know this. I'm in the middle of a live series of job search boot camp private group coaching sessions. So anybody who's in my job search boot camp program not only gets the whole program, the recorded program with all the modules and all the recordings, but they also get to attend the live group coaching sessions. It's lifetime attendance, lifetime free attendance for. It's basically the best career insurance policy you can ever get. What I do at these sessions is I do some teaching, usually on some of the toughest issues. So to start tomorrow's session, we have one tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I'm actually going to be talking about two major things related to interviewing. Number one, what are the 5 most important stories that you have to have ready in a job interview? I'm not talking about answers to questions like, why do you want to work here and all that good stuff. I'm talking about the 5 cornerstone stories that you have to have that ultimately separate the rejection from the job offer. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to give you one as an example. But where did you add the greatest value? Right? Something like that. You need to be able to nail that, and you need to know specifically what they're looking for, and you can plan for that in advance. I'm going to talk about that and how to do that tomorrow. I'm also going to go through, and actually I'm going to role play some of the toughest interviewing questions that an employer can ask you. And it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So if you want to get into the Job Search Bootcamp and you want to join us tomorrow for that private session, you can get in. We had a special in January, but I will extend the $100 off if you want to get in, and Kara can pop the coupon code and the link in there. But that's tomorrow. It's going to be a ton of fun. And the other thing that I have going is February 27th. I have a live webcast. It's an event that I put together on the power of your personal story. So how do you build your story and share it with the outside world? And for somebody who's job seeking, this is an amazing way to pull together, kind of going back to what I said about how do you add the greatest value. Literally, you can build your story to show that. Okay, so it's really going to be a lot of fun. So if you're interviewing, We got some great stuff coming up for you, but it doesn't matter. Everybody needs to know how to tell their story, how to tell it in a manner that makes you and the other people you're sharing it with connect with you. And I'm gonna walk you through some of my stories and how I can take one story and change the way I tell it to connect me to different audiences. How do I want to tell it when I want to connect to companies? How do I want to tell it when I want to connect to individuals? How do I want to tell it when I want to sell myself? And those kind of things. You all need to be able to do this. It's a phenomenal program, and it is a skill you have to have. That's on the 27th. That's free. So I hope you join me, and hopefully Kara can drop that in. We literally just popped up the page today because I wanted to make sure that I had it for this. Parker, great question, man. Joseph Rodriguez, hey. Tassa, hey. Kathleen Phillips, my boot camper. Norman, how are you? Tony P from Dunedin, miss you, brother. Drop me a line. Let me know how you're doing. Text me. Marcy. All right, Marcy M. with the nice picture. On a resume, how does a 40-something full-time worker address being in college for 8 years to obtain their bachelor's but still not finished? So interestingly, I'm glad you used the word address as opposed to something like feeling as though you have to explain yourself. I don't even know that I would consider this a big deal. So if I looked at you and I wanted to hire you for Mile Walk, and I said, hey, Marcy, I see you've been, I don't even know that you've been undertaking this for 8 years, right? I see that your bachelor's is in progress. Tell me about that, right? And number one, I actually don't hold it against you that you don't have a degree, and 98% of employers won't either, but regardless of what you think. The second thing is you're a full-time worker in your 40s, and anybody who's going back to get their bachelor's as a personal goal of their own, I respect. As a matter of fact, I would probably give you more points than somebody who got their bachelor's degree when they were 22. So I don't, this is a problem because you think it's a problem. It's not a problem. It really isn't. I'm going part-time. I'm chipping away at my bachelor's degree. Awesome. That's it. I might even probably, weirdly, be a little concerned that would detract you from doing the job that I want to hire you for. Weird, huh? Think about that. You do not, nothing you need to apologize. I'm chipping away at it. I'm getting my bachelor's. I'm targeting to finish by. That's it. And if you finish by then, great. And if you don't, don't worry about it. That's the way I see that. Hope that helped. Connie Mack, how are you? My boot camper, Christine Chandler. All right, Robert Etheridge. I thought on bringing a business proposal to a job interview. I did this last week and they love it. So you want my thoughts on bringing a 90-day a business proposal. So I don't know what you mean by business proposal. If you are talking about a 90-day plan to get jump started and you want to do that, thumbs up. If it's something else, way out different scope, I'm not sure, unless they asked you to do it. Those are my thoughts. If you want to give me more detail, I would be happy to give you more color on that. All right. Anna McGovern, hey, how are you? Hey, Steve G. All right. Dean A. I reached out to an SVP at a large multinational, got a kind response. I don't have the required skills under her, but she would pass resume to others. Do I thank her with another note or respect her time? No, you definitely thank her. And not only do you thank her, you need to say a couple of things. So think about all the things that you want. Oh my God, this is a beauty. Dean, thank you for serving this one up. All right, so everybody, you reach in to, let's say it's a boss hunting style. If you don't know what my boss hunting techniques are, check it out on the YouTube channel. So Dean A reached into a senior vice president and wanted to work in her unit. He took a shot. She said, You don't have the requisite skills, but I would be happy to move it along to somebody else. Okay, so you want to circle back with her. Number one, you want to thank her. Obviously, that's proper etiquette and the smart thing to do. Number two, you want to make sure that she follows through with it. One of the ways you can make sure that she follows through with it is she might just do it anyway, but if she likes you and you're sincere about it, she's going to want to help you. So I would say, I'm thank you so much for getting back to me. Okay, while I would have loved to have worked with you because I really respected your background, I think it would be great and I could learn a lot from you. I very much appreciate you sending this on to other people. But the other thing that you need to be able to do is you don't know who she's going to send it to or what else they might need on you. So thank you for that. Will you let me know if there's any additional insight I can share with you that would help you support this reference to your colleagues? Something like that. And then off it goes. It's not about respecting her time. She already got back to you. You made a connection. And so with her, because she's going to circulate it, what I'm assuming is internally. You were not specific, but I would probably not, in this case, say, or anybody outside the organization. Because a lot of times, if they reach in and if you reach in and she would have said, hey, Dean, this is great. We don't have, your background, we don't have anything here that's suitable for you and your background. Then I would respond back to her and I would ask her for outside referrals. Okay, so that's something else that I would do, but I would not do that in this communication, assuming that she's going to be referring you internally. Just keep it there, right? That makes sense. That's a great one. And as a matter of fact, I'm wondering if you might have popped this in the system within the last 24 hours. I don't know that I got to it, but I hope that helped. All right, Tim Purdy. All right, let's see. All right, Tim Purdy. Should I chase the hiring manager after they told me you're not eliminated, but the other folks in the team want to see more candidates? I'm not sure what you mean by chase the hiring manager, but I would follow up and I would give them a little time, and I probably would give them a week or two. And I don't know, you got to have more information to know about the follow-up. Tim, I don't know. It's not on the YouTube channel, and we have it recorded, but it's private. But I did a whole session on following up after a job interview that covers a lot of the different scenarios. It's in my job interview mastery program. That's also available with the boot camp. But I would follow up. I would. I mean, there's no reason not to. All right, Vienna. My boot camper, hey Andy, should I include my cover letter in the body of the email even if they ask for a cover letter? You can. You can duplicate it, right? The cover letter as an attachment can be circulated or dropped into your, into their system. They might tag it as a cover letter or whatever. You sure can, and you can repeat yourself. Don't worry, it's a-okay. Carla. Hi, I'm from Ohio. I'm a junior database admin. Question, how do you address life events that cause gaps in your employment history on your resume? So Carla, and anybody who has had a gap of any kind for any reason, okay? So traveled the world, you had a baby, became a stay-at-home dad, mom, you had to take care of an elderly parent, a sick child, you decided to take time off and go full-time to get a degree, makes no difference. What I recommend is, number one, you don't want to make a big deal out of anything, okay? At the end of your career profile, so I recommend, if you don't know what my career profile is, there's videos out there on the YouTube channel, check it out. There's ones about writing the resume, there's even ones about the career profile, how to create the perfect career profile. The last sentence in the second paragraph of the career profile can be returning to work after 4-month, layoff due to, or something like that. It could be anything, just innocuous, just returning to the workforce after whatever. Now, if it's something you want to share right on the resume, like After family care, taking care of family, it's okay. After volunteering in wherever or whatever you did, you didn't, you said life events. I'm assuming that means, child, parents, other things, family related stuff. So you could just say, or if it's a medical issue, you could just say, returning to the workforce after, time to care for self or something. It depends how detailed you want to be. And then I would recommend watching my How to Handle Employment Gaps video, because I don't just talk about the resume. I talk also about how I would communicate this in an interview. Okay. All right. 5-leaf clover. Okay, 5-leaf clover. Thank you for hanging in there with me. My apologies that we had some trouble with the stream connecting, but good news for you. I read all 6 of your chats before I turned on the machine. And you were, so 5-leaf clover was asking, is it dangerous to ask, why is this position open? The additional context that you provided me in the chats that disappeared had to do with, you looked at some reviews on Glassdoor. For context for everybody else, now 5-leaf clover, I don't know who you are, but I remember you saying that you are a recent college graduate or you are a new career professional or something of that nature. For anybody, regardless of who you are, anybody, anytime, anywhere, interviewing in any country, for any position, at any level, you gotta ask this question, and there's nothing dangerous about it. And as a matter of fact, I'm usually a little put off when people don't ask me that. Okay, so you've got to understand the context of what you're walking into. Well, somebody just left the position. Great, why'd they leave? They got a new job inside the company. Awesome. Well, they didn't get along with the boss. Okay. Right? You're getting info. They should be able to explain it. Oh, you're growing. It's a new position. Awesome. Right? So definitely ask. There's nothing dangerous about it. And I got the context, and I'm telling you based on the stuff that I saw before, for you, it's still not dangerous. Please ask it. Love it. Okay. Hey, Sarah. Giovanni. Handy, I asked you about getting the job back a long time ago, but at which point is it too late to ask for feedback and use that method? Okay. So let's talk about what Giovanni's asking here. I remember you asked me something about, they hadn't gotten back to you in a while. So Giovanni's asking, getting the job back, meaning he interviewed, he didn't get the job. It's a while ago, and wants to know if it's too late to use that method. And the method that he's referring to is, I have a technique that I recommend. It's in a video that I have out on the YouTube channel about how to get the job after being rejected. I don't care where you are in any interview process, if you're just starting your search, or if you've interviewed, or you're about to get an offer or whatever, watch that video before you get to the end. It's important. And I talk about what to say it, how to end the process so that you will go out with some class, tee yourself up to follow up with them in about a month, and also keep yourself in front of them, and just really make a connection on your way out. You're just solidifying that connection on your way out. So I don't know what a long time ago is. A long time ago to me is 3 weeks. 3 months is a really long time ago. So if it's 3 weeks, you go back in. If it's 6 weeks, go back in. And you could even send, and Giovanni, you could even send the same message. Maybe tweak it just a wee bit, being that it's been 6 weeks, 8 weeks. If it's way beyond that, Then you need to go back with a different approach about, hey, I was really disappointed because I really wanted to work with the team back then. Even so, I respect your opinion, but I wanted to check back in to see if there's, anything has changed, if there's any additional positions, and so on and so forth. And I would go that route. So I hope that helps. Great question. All right, Kyle Lee. Am expecting an offer soon from a startup with a lower than asking base price and compensation in equity, meaning it's a lower than asking base, but there is compensation in equity, and what they're probably doing is saying you're going to be a bajillionaire. It's okay to take half the pay you were earning before because we're going to make you a millionaire 10 times over. I've never dealt with equity before. What questions should I be asking before accepting? Kyle Lee, that's a phenomenal question. And let's step this back for everybody. It isn't the questions about the equity that you should be asking. I'll give you some. The question you should have asked me, but did not ask me, and this is much, much more important, is any of you going into a startup, going into a small company that thinks it's growing or is growing, when you interview with them, the acid test question, write this down. The acid test question you need to ask them is, what is your primary goal with this organization? Okay? Why do you want to ask that question? The owner or the senior executives who tell you, well, our goal is to grow it really fast so that we can sell it, so that we can go public, so we can sell it to a private equity company or get acquired by run. Why? Because companies that have that goal as their primary goal, I don't mind if it's a goal. It matters to me if it's a primary goal, because if that's their primary goal, what do we tend to do? We tend to alter our behaviors so that they're in alignment with the goal that we want. And that goal is, I need to hurry up and run the revenue up, right? It's not about building a healthy company. It's about building a company that on paper looks profitable. I have been through, in my 30 plus years, I've seen this. I've counseled for this, I've consulted for these types of companies, and I've worked for these kind of companies, sat on boards for these kind of companies. If the company is focused on its balance sheet and its revenue and all that nonsense, right? That's their primary focus. They usually crash and burn. Now wait, businesses need to be mindful of this stuff. But when you do that from the vantage point of making sure that your products are solid, servicing your customers as your primary focal point, the other stuff, the balance sheet, the revenue growth, the EBITDA, the profit margins, all the other things that you're hoping happen, just happen. But when you make that your focal point, I see a lot of companies, here's what they do, consulting companies, they hire staff, they put them on projects to run the revenue up. As soon as that project's over, if they don't have one right away, they fire the people. They do crazy things like that. They cut corners, right? And it's not a great working environment. If the response is, well, the primary focus right now is to make sure that we're financially stable so we can reinvest this money into building this product that we think is really going to take off. And the reason we think it's really going to take off is because we've done this market analysis, we've done these surveys, we've done these informal interviews, and so on. But there's a real demand for this in the market. So here's our strategy to build that. We're going to have to invest early. Now, the reason that we don't want to give you as high of a base salary is because we want to make sure that we're reinvesting into the company and we're not racking up a tremendous amount of debt early on in our early years. We're hopeful that will pay off later. And so if they're talking like that, jump in. That's a good sign. Okay? Don't misunderstand what I'm saying about, balance sheets and profit margins. Yeah, that has to be there. But when that's your focal point and you're not focused on all the stuff that makes the product great, that makes it long-standing, that makes employees want to come there, that makes customers want to buy it, usually crash and burn. Now, equity-wise, well, there's many different ways that you can have equity in a company. You can have phantom stock, you can have profit sharing, you can have profit interest units, you can have restricted stock units, you can have stock options, you can have incentive stock options. They're all different. Okay, so without going through every single one and what those are, the most important thing for you is you need to understand what their strategy is, what their timetable is, and whether you have an ability to hold on to that equity should you leave. Is it something that you'd have to buy if you left? Meaning, if you had incentive stock options and they said, well, upon leaving the organization, you have to exercise your right to buy the stock option. That's a little tricky. Then you might be leaving a company and forking money over, right? So there's many different things. I think you would be best suited with addressing their strategy and where they're going. You think about if you want to take that chance. You think about if the equity will pay off. But there's a lot to it, and it is tricky. So I hope that gives you some context. But that's a great question, Kyle. Thank you for that one. All right, how we doing here? All right, folks. Couple of other announcements. I got the boot camp going on tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about the 5 pillar stories that you have to have and how to tell them to crush it. You got these 5 down, you're covered. You're set for life, okay? I'm going to talk about the value areas of what companies are most interested in understanding. So when they say, what's your greatest value, I'm going to give you the way to answer it, and you can pick from the list I give you. Then I'm also going to talk about the interview questions and how to address the toughies. Management style, leadership style. Tell me about a time when you disagreed with somebody. I'm going to give you the formulas for all these. This is not in anywhere have I ever talked about this before in the public domain. And then we got the Power of Your Personal Story on February 27th. One other thing I want to mention to you, we recently the Mile Walk Academy recently switched our email systems. And you might notice emails are coming in a little bit of a different format. It might look a little different. It might be coming from a different sender. It's still us. It's a different platform. I want to make sure that I alert you to this because we're going through the initial growing pains because we moved a very large email list to a new platform, and that creates its own issues. And some of you might be getting these emails routed to your junk filter or spam filter or promotions tab or marketing tab. Some of you, your ISPs might be blocking the email. A way to tell if you haven't gotten my email is Tuesday morning at 6:30 Central Time, my time. We always send you an email. So if you have not gotten that, like last Tuesday was the first one we sent, and we had a very low, a very different level of open rate than normal. We were anticipating a little bit of a hiccup, but I just want to call it out because if you're not getting our emails, you're not going to get alerted to the free stuff, to the downloads, to the digest, to any of the premium programs we have. Just make sure that you're putting us on the safe list. And interview intervention, out of reach but in sight, these little beauties for $7 each. You can have them. You get the ebook, the audio book, some other stuff. So make sure to grab those. You can catch those on the front page of the Mile Walk Academy website. So that's good stuff. All right, Jay. Let's see. Jay Chokshi, located in Huntsville, Alabama. Awesome. Fan of yours and have read Interview Intervention. I agree to most of it. Okay. Well, that's okay. I guess that's better than not. Anne Marie, hey. Baby D, my successful boot camper, East Bay, Cal, with your new job. Congratulations. All right, let's see. Let me see. I don't know what this. Gary Rodriguez. Hey, Andy, I'm an MBA graduate with little to no professional experience in the human resources field. Any tips I can use to help me in the experience section? Well, you got 2 issues. You got the no experience on your resume issue, and then you've got your storytelling issue in the interviews. All those, go to my Career Changer playlist. Just go there. I hit them all. It's about 7 videos. They're not terribly lengthy. They're powerful. I would check them out. Jay, I'm not giving this one away, my friend, Why should we hire you? But here's what I will tell you. I'm going through, okay, so you said you read Interview Intervention. We just got done doing that. It's in there. It's in Interview Intervention. So everybody who's got this book or the ebook, Why Should We Hire You, is in there. What value do you bring? That kind of stuff. It's in there in the Silver Bullet Interview chapter. I can't remember what question number it is. Check it out. Oop, 5-leaf. Oh, hang on, I got the spinning ball. 5-leaf clover 180. What if you have to take a gap year to recover from surgeries? That means it's in the future. I'm not sure what the question is. Is the question you had it and now you need to explain it, or you're trying to get hired and you need to take a year? So I'm going to assume that you mean you had it and you need to explain it. If you had it, I gave the answer a little while ago on I would add something like returning to workforce after medical absence for a year, currently fully recovered or whatever, something of that nature. I would check that out. And then I would also check out the video on how to handle employment gaps. Let's see. Ricardo. Hi, Andrew. I've created my resume based on some of your guidelines. If I would like someone to take a look at it, what would you recommend? So, Ricardo, I'm happy to take a look at it. I offer resume review services, and I offer that as part of my Job Search Bootcamp. So anybody who's in the Job Search Bootcamp has an option to get an add-on service for me to review their resume. And what I recommend there is they go through the bootcamp instruction, which is deeper than anything that I have in the public, write their resume, and then send it to me, and then I go through and I do the track changes and all that good stuff. You can find that on the Job Search Bootcamp page. That's what I would recommend. All right. Adam Stark, let's see. In case it was lost, you've said to aim for companies who deserve you, welcome students, career changers. Do you have any advice on finding those companies? I do. So if you are in the Job Search Bootcamp, which I don't think you are, we have an entire section dedicated to surfacing companies, and not only surfacing the companies, but also surfacing the people inside the companies. If you were asking on a free basis, there is a video I have out there on how to create a target company list. Use those 12 steps to do that, and then as you go through the 12 steps, as you look at the companies, that's when you're going to have to evaluate whether they are open to people without experience, open to career changers, and so forth. They'll have the signs, the posts will be up for you to see that. Interestingly, Tina, we got this question last week as well, or the week before. Hi, Andy. Which is more effective or preferable, applying for a position through LinkedIn or through a company's website? Neither, in my case, or neither is what I would recommend, because applying through LinkedIn is pretty much the same as applying through an applicant tracking system. Both of them have a low probability of you being seen. Sometimes LinkedIn, if you're doing it that way, they might even tell you, this job posting has 8,000 applicants who've applied, or something of that nature. I would recommend boss hunting, recruiter hunting, or some of those other techniques. But if pressed and you were asking me whether I would apply through the website or LinkedIn, I would probably apply through LinkedIn. Through LinkedIn would be and I mean, we're splitting hairs at that point, but if pressed, that would be my answer. All right. Esther, how are you? My boot camper and leader, Andy. Me and my team were impacted by a reduction in force this week, Monday. Ooh, sorry to hear that. What's your advice on how to crank up a job search? Love Andy. Esther, I love you, babe. I mean, it's just, I had so much fun with you a month ago or whenever we had that session. So, number one, sorry to hear that. Number two, you've gotten a lot of the instruction from me The fastest way is, all right, so you've been through all the boot camp stuff. In the boot camp, I have, for the boot campers, the 5-module job search challenge program where I take you through all the steps and I break down each of the steps of identifying the target companies, identifying the people, what messages to send, and then the entire troubleshooting module on everything that can go wrong and in-depth instruction on how to overcome it. I would triple that. So not 3 a day, but 10 a day, and I would go at it. That's what I would do. You will get results faster. You have a beautiful background, and you're well connected. So I'm confident. And Esther, let me leave you with this as a positive thought. You have such a great background, and you could only move at a certain speed with your job search because you were working full time. Now you don't have to worry about that, right? So now you can put the pedal down and go, and you'll be successful. And we'll be here with you every step of the way. Let me know how it goes. Talk to you soon. Okay, I can't, hang on. Kara is mentioning, I can't see the times. Kara, I can't see the times in the chat that I have, that I'm using. Can you give me some surrounding stuff? All right, Keela. I have a 2.5-hour interview with 6 people, 1 panel, and then individual sessions. Is it okay to repeat answers if they ask the same questions? It is. It is. And I would hope, so here's my view on this. Let's just take a simple one because it's neutral and everybody will get this. If you go to an interview and you interview with 5 people in a row, let's just say you go one after another and it's an hour each, 5 in a row, and every single one of them asks you, tell me about yourself. It's the same question. And you're going to repeat yourself 5 times. And you're going to take 15 minutes of your hour and you're going to replicate that along the day. That company of interviewers who asked you that question, instead of having 75 minutes of information about you, they have 15. Okay? So if they're going to waste their time asking you the same questions, then I would give them the same answers, provided that your answers are awesome. Right? If you answer the question and you get feedback about it that causes you to upgrade your response should you be asked it the next time, then I would upgrade it. So that's my view on that. It's the same thing when you get an opportunity to ask them questions. It is okay to ask the same question to different interviewers, provided that there is a strategy and a method to your practice, meaning I'm asking it twice on purpose because I want to make sure they agree that their philosophy on where they're going, the market strategy, the whatever, is the same. That's cool. That's a way for you to detect, is the management team on the same page? Or are the interviewers on the same page? Or do the interviewers all think success looks the same? Awesome. Now I'm coming into a place, it's congruent, everybody's cone is pointed in the right direction. There's a benefit to that. And you're not wasting time, you're ensuring consistency. Okay? They could be ensuring consistency. It's a lower risk on their end. Okay? It's a higher risk on yours. All right, I hope that helps. And let me get rid of that. Let's see. Near the bottom. I don't know where the bottom is. Kara, I'm so high on the chat. I wish. Okay. Christy. What's the best way to get my questions answered if not enough time during the second interview? Assuming an offer is made, the answers would help to finalize my decision between 2 offers. Thanks, my boot camper. All right, folks, this is what happens when you're in the boot camp. You get offers. All right, Christy, couple of things, and for everybody who is thin on time when you go through an interviewing process, this is what I always say. Let's think about your interview process as a whole, okay? So you don't need to get everything answered in the first one or the second one or the third or whatever, okay? Your goal in every interview along the way as you go through the recruitment process is sell yourself, sell yourself, sell yourself, sell yourself. Along the way, you get a little information, then hopefully you get a little more, then a little more, and so on. As you get down closer to the end, they should be allocating more time to answer your questions. Now, every interview process is a little different. So, you want to make sure that you are selling. Some of you will say, well, Andy, I'm interviewing them too. You are. But what happens if you're spending a lot of time asking a lot of questions up front and they're not being sold on you? Then what do? They eject you from the process prematurely, and then you don't have to worry about asking your questions or interviewing them because you don't have an interview anymore. So just keep in mind, sell, 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 sell. Now, if you get down to the end and you don't have all your questions answered, if they are going to give you an offer, you don't have to respond right away. Just say, hey, I'm Christy. You know what? This is great. I've loved all this. I have a few more questions really important to me. I'm wondering if we can set a little bit of time aside with the appropriate person so that I can answer these questions. Some of these are for the hiring officials. Some of these are for HR, but it would really be nice to be able to do that. Under no circumstances are you to email the questions to them. If they say, will you email me the questions? Don't. Insist on time to speak it. Why? Because it's very difficult to understand your sentiment, your rationale, what you're asking, why you're asking it, right? And it's too easy for them to misunderstand this and start drawing conclusions about you. So set up a phone call, go take another trip. You're better off doing this. I know it takes a little extra time, but isn't it worth an extra hour of your time to ask your questions and make sure you're making the right choice? And so just say, hey, I just want to ask these. I didn't get a chance throughout the process to get them all answered. There's nothing wrong with this. In 600 people that Mile Walk, my recruitment firm, has placed, 400 of them had to ask for extended time to get their questions answered. Every time. Clients didn't bat an eye. Sure. I want the person who's coming here to make sure that they have peace of mind. They're making a good choice. What I don't want is somebody to take the job and then in 3 weeks decide they want to leave. So good companies will give you the time. They may be pressed along the way, right? There may be things they want to get and they only have 10 minutes at the end of the interview to give you a chance to ask your questions. At that point, prioritize your questions, but keep a running list. And since you're a boot camper, I know you have a running list that is in complete alignment with your requirements to make sure that you get all those things answered and you got a complete suite of insight. That's what I would do. That's how I would handle it, and that's also what I would not do. I would not write them in. I would not email them in. I would not leave them voicemails. I would not do any of that stuff. Okay? It's different when you're emailing, hey, okay, yeah, can we change the start date? Yeah, okay, no problem. Blah, blah, blah. Logistical stuff. But deep insight that you need to talk it through. All right. Good luck. Will you please let me know how that goes? All right. Hey, Sarah from Mexico. All right. Merle 4, are you a boot camper? Let me see. I'm not sure. Hang on a second. Hang on. Let me see if I can do this. You know what's really scary? So the finish button, like to knock this down, is like right next to. I'm so scared. All right, hang on. I had a phone. Hang on, let's see if I can do this. Come on. All right, hold on. Oh my, look at this. I should not be doing this. All right, hold on. Let's try this again. Oh, goodness. Don't you love it? All right, hang on. I'm sorry about this one. I was trying it. Let me pull these off. All right, so I got a question here. Had a phone interview with the director. She was receptive, thought it went well. Got a call next day from the recruiter saying the director liked me, but someone with stronger in storytelling with numbers was picked. I read your interview intervention book and picked up tips from your videos. Any additional storytelling tips or presentation advice? So, the most important thing, there's 5 storytelling principles in interview intervention. These are not the same as the 5 powerful stories that I'm talking about in my boot camp tomorrow. The storytelling, when the feedback was we picked someone with stronger, what I'm assuming you mean is experience, or they articulated their experience more effectively, or they said it in a manner that made them believe them more effectively. That's ultimately what you need to do. Now, in the storytelling principles, the part about the organization, the part about the details and the packaging in the story, you got to focus on that. It's got to have detail in it. The details is what make them believe you that you lived it and you actually had the experience. So I would go back to chapter 5, or I think you're in the boot camp. I think you mentioned that. I would go to module 4. I would go to module 4 and look at that again. All right. Oh no. Hey guys, okay, hold on a second. I'm so sorry. Damn it. All right, hold on. I think I can actually edit this on here. There we go. All right. So I guess we need more tests, right? Anne-Marie B., where can I highlight my volunteer work? In the extracurricular and additional section of the resume. I held officer positions in the PTA and local economic committee, all volunteer, but I gained management and leadership skills. Damn right you did. Okay, so 2 spots. I'd put that in the career profile, okay, at the end. You know where I've been talking throughout this live office hours about for some people with gap years, those kind of things. At the end of your career profile, after you put career core competencies, put additionally held officer positions and I would spell out Parent Teachers Association and local economic committee, and whatever that local economic committee is, I would give it a specific name, like local. What's local? Is it the municipal, the city, the whatever? But I would be very, very specific. So that's what I would do. Up in the career profile, down again in the extracurricular and volunteer activities, or whatever you want to label it. How. I'm considering a version of poetic license I call chronological license, taking 15 years off of all dates, to be explained once I get through the ATS. I'm not sure if there is another part to that. I would not do that. Strongly not do that. If I got your resume and I'm going to make sure I understand you. It's okay to lop the bottom 15 years off if you got 35 years or 40 years of experience. That's cool. But if you are taking years off in between, and I don't even know that I understand that, I would not do that because the dates are going to be messed up. Believe me, no one is going to be happy about that. I'm not even sure what to say about that. I really would not do that. I really would not. MCK, how are you, my dear? MCK from down the block. All right, I'm finally breaking down and doing LinkedIn. Being that I want to move to Carolinas or Florida, should I start it with Chicago, most of my network, build up, and then switch to Charlotte? I would target organizations in Carolina and Florida. If you want to, target them, send them messages, do all that stuff, awesome. I don't know, you could leave the Chicago location. If you have a place in the Carolinas or in Florida that you could use as a temporary residence or address, you can do that. You really could do whatever you want. People move for jobs often. I would not worry. Don't overcomplicate it, Mayor. Really. All right. Tyler Shepard, how are you? I think I got that one. Audrey Musgrave, I think. Wait, how can I? Hang on. Audrey, how are you? So, let's see. Audrey's asking, how can I calculate if an offer that pays half of the health insurance and no other insurance is a good offer for the base salary? I can negotiate the base, but don't know how much. I am used to full package benefits. Okay, so so when you say it pays half of the health insurance, Audrey, what I think you mean is it pays half of the premium price tag associated with healthcare, and you are probably, when you say you said you're used to full package benefits, I'm assuming you mean you're used to getting dental and vision and maybe some other things like that, flexible spending accounts, healthcare savings accounts, health savings accounts, or whatever. This to me is a simple addition and subtraction. It really is. So you can look at your base salary, which obviously has to come up. Then whatever the price tags that are on the premiums, you'll know. So you'll know what your out-of-pocket is for the premium. Now, there is no such thing in this world as a standard benefits package because every employer is a little different. Some companies give you this robust package, pay the whole thing, pay it for the employees, pay it for the family, pay it for whatever. Okay, so you're never going to have apples to apples. What you need to do is you're young. So I'm guessing you're young based on your picture that I think we connected on LinkedIn. For example, I don't have dental insurance or vision insurance. I have glasses and I have teeth, right? I'm 53. I go to the dentist twice a year, for a cleaning. I go see my eye doctor once a year. And the costs are pretty low. Now, if I had to have surgery on my eyes, my healthcare pays for that, right? Kind of thing. If I have to have a root canal, I'm going to have to pay out of my pocket. Risk is low. So generally speaking, and this is likely not going to be your last job, it's a matter of get an idea what your out-of-pocket costs have been for trips to the dentist, vision, if you wear glasses and things of that nature. The price tag is the price tag. You'll be able to see that. So you'll know what your out-of-pocket costs are each month for the premiums. And then you just add them up. And you could look to get a gauge or a barometer of what you're currently earning, spending, and so on. That's what I would do. You will be surprised how, and this is kind of a personal preference, when I opened Mile Walk 15 years ago, I got with my insurance broker and I was paying, $50, $60 a month for dental insurance, and I was going to the dentist twice a year, and he charges me $85 today for a cleaning, right? So that was kind of silly, so I just canceled it. So it's risk, and it's evaluating your cost and those kind of things. So it usually, especially for a younger, healthy professional, the risk is usually low, but that's a personal choice. But lots of times we all think, oh my goodness, I have to have insurance for everything. And sometimes you don't. And some companies will extend stipends and other things or little slush accounts for their employees if they want to use them for parking or they want to use them for whatever, dental or things of that nature or investments or whatever. So it's adding and subtracting, but all that stuff's a personal preference for you. Hope that helped. Sam. Look at this guy. All right. Sam, corporate raise time is coming up in March. Good luck, buddy. Tips to get a substantial pay increase based on your economic value. Sam, go into the Career Accelerator program. Go to Module 2, which is how to get the promotion, and make sure you're doing all that stuff. And if not for this March, for next March. And then there's also a Module 5 in the Career Accelerator is on prepping for and conducting your performance review. You have it. Go check it out. It's in there. And the reason Sam has it is because he's in my leadership program. And when you're in the leadership program, my Leadership Monthly Live, you get that 5-module, $400 course for free. Sam, good luck. Let me know how it goes. Hey, Nancy. All right. Rafiq, after 3 interviews and a written test, HR asked for my professional references and sent me 2 forms to sign, the bio data and NDA forms. So does it mean I will get the job? It doesn't mean you will get the job. It's a good sign, right? Because if you've gone through the interviews and you had a test and they're asking for your references, that's a pretty good sign. I don't know what their process is. I got my fingers crossed for you, but I can't tell you that it's a for sure. So I hope that helps. Good luck. Report back. Norman, I have more than 20 years of experience, but no GED. What do you recommend? Nothing. Don't do anything. Leave off the education section of your resume. I wouldn't care if you had a GED or a BS or an MBA or a whatever. I care about the 20 years. All right. Okay, DFP 79. Hi, Andy. I'm interested in a role. Have a connection to the person who heads up the group. Awesome. Should I ask to be connected to learn more about the company and group, or should I tell him about the role? I'm assuming what you mean is you're interested in a role and have a connection to the person who heads up the group. Now, I'm hopeful that that's the boss. And if you have a connection, meaning you've got a referral to that person, I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Are you connected on LinkedIn? Do you have a buddy who knows him or her? It depends what that situation is. If it's a cold LinkedIn connection and you just happen to be connected, I would send them an email and say, hey, I'm interested. It looks like you head up this group. I'm interested in this role. I'd love to get connected with you on that. That's how I'd handle that. If you're talking about you have a referral, like somebody who knows him or her, I would get the referral. I would have somebody take your stuff and send it to that person and say, hey, my friend DFP 79 reached out to me. Actually, I saw that you're interested in this, or you run this unit. It looks like he's interested in joining your team. I thought I'd pass along and get you guys connected to see if it works out. Great. And then you take it from there. That's what I would do. All right. Uh-oh. Hang on, folks. There we go. How we doing? Still, what does it look like? A couple hundred people? God, you guys are awesome. All right. Beth Greger. Received an offer letter from targeted company. Just check today's email. See where. Yikes. Okay, hang on. Look at you. All right. Received an offer letter from targeted company. Just check today's emails and see where another targeted company is asking me to come in for an interview. Yikes. I start the new job Tuesday. If you signed it and you give them the date and it's 3 work days away, I would probably, so first off, I'm a your word is your bond kind of guy on the one hand. On the other hand, I'm a, in this situation only, that I don't want you looking over your shoulder with regret. So what I don't know if you love this new company, just because it's another targeted company doesn't mean that it's going to be as wonderful as this other one. So what I would do is I would basically say, okay, look, here's my situation. I start Tuesday. But I'm interested in understanding what your opportunity is. Can we have a quick call? And then you take it. And then you have to play it from there. I mean, until you get there Tuesday, you could set something up with this company and see if there's, anything that would make you change your mind. That's how I would do it. It's touchy. I hope that helps. Christine Chandler, is it realistic to look for full-time, being over 60 in accounts receivable, collections, and research? Hell yes. Hell yes. I'm 53, and I've been working a long time, and you're in your 60s, and you've been working a long time, and there are many, many, many companies out there. I can tell you this as an executive recruiter. I can tell you this as a career coach, an international career coach. I see this all over the world. There are companies that would genuinely value all your experience. They would. And you gotta keep at it. You gotta keep looking, and you gotta go about it the right way. But yes, my answer is yes. Keep your chin up. All right, let's see. You see this one? Anne-Marie, how are you? Hey, Andy, I'm Anne-Marie, a project management consultant from Sheffield, UK. How do you present CV for relevant positions over 15 years ago? Should I extend my CV to 3 pages? Well, you know what, Anne-Marie, you're in a different situation. So I'm speaking to Anne-Marie and everyone like Anne-Marie right now. Not everybody is a consultant. And a consultant that has a lot of working projects throughout, her history. And Anne-Marie, what I would do is I would have a 2-page resume. I would have a separate document that is one of 2 things: complete history of all of the projects that you have done. And one cool thing that you can do is you can list it all in chronological order. Okay? List it all 20 years, 30, however long you've been working, or however long you've been a consultant. You send your resume and you tailor that resume to include the sample projects in the different sections of your resume that align to the organization that you're targeting. Okay? That's the first thing you do. Second thing you do is you go into your complete work history. You pull out the projects that are most like that company. Now, you probably put them in your resume, but I also would recommend that you have a section at the top of your resume for all you contractors and consultants out there: most relevant work experience. Meaning, I've attached an extra document where I've pulled forward the projects that are most like the stuff you're doing and you need up at the top. And then they can open it up, and it might be a repeat of what you had in your resume. That's okay, because then you also have all the other stuff that's down there if you want to show that. Okay, and then they can look through that, and they might find things in there that are of value. But what you did was you kind of spoon-fed them and you pulled forward. Remember, they're going through your resume really fast. So they're not going to read all your resume. So if they open up this extra document to look at your other stuff, and they glance at that up at the top, right? Prime real estate, what do I always talk about? Top half of the first page. What you do for your complete work history is you pull forward to the top of your first page the relevant stuff with some details. That's what I would do. Don't extend the CV. Have a separate document. Good stuff. All right. How are we doing on time? 12:23. Hey, I want to make a couple of announcements, and then I'll answer some more questions. All right. Boot camp tomorrow. If you want to jump in, Kara probably put the code in. I think it's like 100 off camp or something. That's good, like through tomorrow. And jump in. Join me. I got a special session on interviewing, the 5 stories you got to know how to tell, and answering the roughest interview questions. And then the 27th, the power of your personal story. If you get in that by Sunday, February 23rd, I'm going to send you lessons on how to build your story. And then we'll bring it all together on Thursday. So on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you'll get an email lesson that talks with you about how you collect the scenes of your life, your work life, your personal life, whatever life you want to talk about. And then how do you identify that moment that it all changed for you, because that's going to be the centerpiece of your story, right? What was the moment that changed it for me? Boss called me into his office, gave me 2 choices, told me I had 2 choices. I told him he's going to shove it up his caboose. I had more choices, and I opened up a firm, right? That story gets told. So you have one of those in your life, and the story that's so pivotal is the one where you start at the bottom. Not, I was doing so great, right? That doesn't connect with anybody. And then the third element is, how do you make it connect? And then I'm going to teach you how to put it all together and how to tell it. And so join by the 23rd for that. emails. Make sure we're on your safe list. And so you get these, and then the books. So I hope all that helps. All right, let's see. Philip Ferguson. You are my boot camper. Hang on. Okay. Philip Ferguson. Hello, Andy from Atlanta. My boot camper. I love my boot campers. Here I got an interview from a recruiter, and the salary is preset. However, is it still proper to try and negotiate other benefits, or can you not with recruiters? So when you say you got an interview from a recruiter, I'm assuming you mean third-party recruiters. You don't negotiate with third-party recruiters. You negotiate with hiring officials at the corporations. If you got a job from a corporate recruiter, you don't negotiate with the corporate recruiter either. You negotiate with the hiring official. You might be negotiating through the recruiter, but the recruiter is not negotiating with you. I hope you understand that. Recruiters do not determine what you get paid. They don't. They never have, they never will, unless they're hiring for their own teams. So yes, it is proper. Yes, negotiate. And even if they tell you it's preset, negotiate it anyway. There's a lot of things in life that are preset that get undone. Negotiate everything. Everything is negotiable in life. It is. Everything is negotiable. Good luck, my boot camper. Tony, look at that guy. Hot rodding. All right. Tony, currently employed, wanting to relocate states, currently able to quit my job, move, and focus full-time on a job search. How does this look to employers, and is moving without a job a bad idea? I love it, buddy. So, I always think fortune favors the brave, and that expression by James Burrows about leap and the net will appear is sort of true. Usually what happens is you leap, the net isn't there, you fall and you get cut and bruised and banged, and then you get up and you do it again, and you get banged, and then you do it again, and then there's a net. So if you said to me, Andy, I'm in, Atlanta, I packed up my bag and my kids and my dog and my wife and whatever, and I moved to Chicago, and I'm here now working. Awesome. Love you. Awesome. Let's go. Great. If you want to stay where you are and you want to target Chicago or wherever it is, that's awesome too. Anything is fine. And it does not look bad. And what I would say to you about moving without a job, that is a personal decision. Maybe you can go a long time. Maybe you can negotiate a severance with your current company. Who knows? Maybe you can move, say, listen, I'm moving cities and I need to work remotely, and you can keep your job. Anything is on the table. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you that I would not care, and most companies will not care if you moved without a job. Think about how easy that excuse is, right? We were moving, and we had a date. We were moving. I was picking up the kid, and I don't know what your family life is. Hey, I had to move because the kids needed to be in school. Hey, I had to move because we found this great house and I didn't want to, lose it. I don't care. Okay, great. You're here now. You won't have any trouble. I mean, with the story, that is. Finding the job, that's different. Hope that helps. David Schwartz. Hey, Monica Gonzalez. Did you get the questions from the original post? I did not, unfortunately. And the first thing I'm going to do when I get off this session is I'm going to send a screenshot of what was happening. And I'm really sorry about that. But by the way, I'm gonna go a few more minutes because I really feel badly that I know a lot of you got on here and you put your questions in and all that good stuff. If I don't get to your question, this stays up, right? This is on YouTube. And you can always go over to it and drop your question in there. And hey, and actually before I leave, because I see some things floating up, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, right? I do this every week. And I'm going to be doing some off-schedule stuff because I need to be testing stuff, as you can obviously see. So make sure you're subscribed. New videos every Tuesday. We got live office hours on Thursday. We got our weekly digest, all that good stuff. So make sure you jump in on our email stuff. If you love this stuff, make sure to click the little thumbs up button. It helps. It actually does. Like, it gives YouTube some juice to circulate this stuff and help more people, and share it. People need help, right? right? People need help. Share it. Click the thumbs up thing. All right, what do we got? Kara did grab the what if there are multiple candidates in an interview process. Anne-Marie, you are welcome. Sha-Tao. Let's pop this up here. Hi, Andrew. Can you share some tips about showing strategic thinking and ability to build a scalable solution? I got this feedback from one interviewer. Sha-Tao. All you need to do is, and maybe if Kara is got her dancing shoes on, she could grab this for me. It's one of my favorite videos. It really is. Executive level interviewing, 12 steps to win the job, or something cheeky like that. But it's the executive level interviewing. It's 20 minutes. It's powerful. It's fast. And I talk exactly about that. Is every single question that you get asked or story you tell has the same starting point that moves back to the beginning. And it talks about, it lets you go through the strategy, the concepts, and the so on, and then it gets you through to the tactics. It's really, really good stuff. It is, with the senior people who find me, lots of them say, that was the video that did it for me. I knew you knew what you were talking about when I saw that thing. And believe me, just check that out. It is a home run. It really is. It really is. So check that out. Rob Laporta, how are you? The underdog. E. Rubiel. So let's see. Hey, Andy, how do we approach getting a referral for interview opportunities? I would recommend my video on job search networking. So how to network when you're searching for a job. It's on the YouTube channel. I walk you through all the stuff. Wait, this is a great one. So David Schwartz is one of my boot campers. If you're wondering if my 14-day challenge works, he did it for 14 days and is actively interviewing with 3 different companies. Would you take 3 interviews over the course of 2 weeks? Some of these people are going like 14, 15 different interviews. So that's awesome. David, huge shout out. Hope I will see you tomorrow. You can ask me all the interviewing questions you want. Bernard, what can you say about a second video interview? I do have a video. I have videos out there on video interviewing, and I have videos out there on second interviews. Watch them. Patty Ann, Patricia Anderson, how are you? Hey, Andy, Patricia from Texas, on for the first time. Great to have you. Can we all give Patricia Anderson a big live office hours hug? Okay, so Sanjitha. Hi, Andy. What's the 14-day challenge you mentioned? Is it available to everyone? Where can I learn more about it? Okay, great question. You got 2 parts to this answer. The first answer is yes. I do have a video on my YouTube channel. It's about a half an hour on my job search challenge. If you just type job search challenge, a video is going to come up. It's going to have a yellow card. Maybe Kara can drop it in the chat, and you could watch that. Now, I do have a 5-module job search challenge that is only available, at least at the moment, to people in my job search bootcamp. That 5-module job search challenge talks about the challenge, all the psychology behind it, why it's potent, and how to do it. And then the middle 3 days or middle 3 sessions or modules talk about how to build the target company list, how to identify people within the organization, and what to say to them when you find them at a much, much deeper level than anything that's public, right? That's on my YouTube channel. And then the 5th day is a complete session on every imaginable thing that can go wrong and every exact thing you need to do in order to overcome it. Obviously, the premium stuff that's in with the boot campers is more robust, but you can watch the fairly detailed 30-minute video that I have. I would check that out, and if you're on the fence, check that out first. But if you want to jump into boot camp, we got some great stuff going on tomorrow. You do get that job search challenge. It's really potent. You also get some other goodies. But I hope you take me up on that. Kyle, where's your VIP hashtag? I don't have a question. I just like how excited you get when you see my name. Okay, I want everybody to know this guy is not just a Mile Walk Academy member. He and I talk on the phone. We have conversations while he's shoveling his driveway, and I'm coming back from a swimming lesson because he has an interview that day. This is what happens when you're a VIP. But hey, buddy, I love you, and hope you got my message an hour or two ago about that thing you messaged me about. I do get excited. All right. This is interesting. Steve, my Canadian friend, I was asked, why would you not want to work here? Threw me for a loop and I got stuck. My response would be, at the moment, I don't have any reasons. Right? Do you want to tell me any? That's a fair answer. They can ask me that question, but I just gave a fair answer. I don't know why I would not. I might. You should ask me that at the end of the interview process. Right? Just like I'm going to ask you if you have any reservations about hiring me. Interesting. Annette Fields, sorry, just got it. Hanyan, wait, I got to tell you, Hanyan, the power of your personal story, you inspired that, my friend. You had asked me a couple weeks ago if I could do a video on how to articulate your value. And I'm not just going to do a video, my friend. There's a whole honking big event and bonanza and workbooks and email lessons and everything because of you. Can you all give Hanyan a big high five, because the power of your personal story, the whole thing that I'm doing is because of that. So if you guys don't think that what you ask me has influence over what we choose to do, well, that's just silly talk, right? Where do you think I get all this stuff from? You all. So thank you for that. All right. Let me see this one. Michael Adams, if you live in one market but are planning on relocating to another market, can you leverage an address from the new market to put on your resume? Sure, if you've got one. Good stuff. Oh, actually, wait. One other thing on this. I have so you know what, I keep forgetting to tell you guys this. I have a video out there on how to get an out-of-state job, and you can do that for out of country too. And I take you through 9 steps, and I do address this stuff. So check that out. This is like the 3rd or 4th one of these out-of-staters that we had. All right, folks, I got to get rolling. If you got any questions about the boot camp, support at milewalk.com. The power of your personal story, you can check the link. You can go to the Mile Walk Academy page. It's up at the top. There's a link. You can register. The interview intervention and out of reach books are available. And make sure you're getting my emails. And the next email that you can absolutely bank on is Tuesday at 6:30 Central Time. So if you're not getting those, check your spam, check your junk, because I need to get in your inbox. I need to give you the goodies. Okay? All right. You guys be cool. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for hopping over. And right now, so I can squeeze a little time, I'm sending in an alert to my guys wondering why the heck I couldn't get you on the right channel. All right. You guys be good. We'll see you soon.